Everyone, Remanx here, and we're going to talk about why you should play Marvel Future Revolution, what to expect when you're playing, and probably a little bit about how to pick the ideal character, and we're going to get into that right now. So if you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. This is my secondary channel. If you guys are visiting me from my other Marvel games, welcome. You'll see a lot more content loaded here. So let's start with the very basics of this game. Now, Marvel Future Revolution is a multiplayer role-playing game. And realistically, the thing I want you to understand is you're going to be selecting a character based on your play style. You're passionate about the particular character, and more importantly, how you want to invest your time and energy into this character. So we're going to talk about why I chose Captain America and hopefully give you some insight. So Cap is a character with actually multiple different play styles. You'll see that I've got a couple of different builds over here. I'm over 1,000,000 power, and this is my melee DPS spec, so I can compete with him in current raids. Now, it is something, well, I'll say is I've spent a lot of time and money on this game to get a better insight into this character, so I can give you guys some feedback on this. So first things first, you're loading up the game. Massively multiplayer. Yeah, there are a lot of shards. You can see right now these are the several channels here at the headquarters that are populated, and my alliance is growing, and you can see we're a 40-person squad over here and growing every day. It'll be a maximum in your alliance of up to 50. So that's a lot of people to play with, and more importantly, what's great about this is the only thing that you can't do with other members of your community is going to be the dark zone. That's the only thing where being an alliance really matters. Otherwise, they're enemy flag to you, and you could accidentally kill them unless they're in your party. But if you're going in with a large group of people, that is something I want to just warn you about. Only your group will prevent damage to them. So we'll talk about that later in more in the alliance gameplay and in some of the dark zone videos coming soon. So the first things first is, well, how did I know I wanted to pick Captain America? Well, Captain America, to me, when I was looking over the kit, was a character that had a lot of team play abilities. And some of his skills are designed to enhance his team. Specifically, I give shields, defense, I can heal myself when I'm leveling, but he also has the ability to taunt, which is the only active one currently in the game. So, thought of him as kind of the classic tank. He does fill that a little bit. We're still trying to figure out exactly how threat works, because some of the threat abilities seem to not always pull aggro. But this is a phenomenal game, because one thing I want you to consider is this isn't a hero collector. You're not going to be playing hundreds of heroes over the course of a year. You're going to find a character's archetype that fits your playstyle. Whether it's Iron Man and you want to do a range damage and potentially some support. There's a support build that lets you help with cooldowns, stamina management, defensive capabilities for dropping the defense to your target and adding more damage to them. So there's a lot of cool different ways to play each character, but the archetype is important. So my recommendation is you're going to find something called squad locking. All right. And the first time you play a character, you're going to hit a point in the story where your squad rank, this rank here, okay, is going to be locked how your progression. And you're going to have to start a second character or spend to overcome that. What's cool about this is I want you guys, if you guys are taking a look at the game, try to figure out which one or two characters you may want to focus on to start with. And remember that there are some key things I'm going to be going on in another video later on today, where we talk about the actual the keys to which characters to select and which things are locked to a character as you level up, and which things to remember, like as far as buying gear. Before you spend a dime, you're going to want to watch this video, so definitely stay tuned on that. So I'm going to tell you. So let's talk about the multiplayer element of this and the open world element of this. So we're starting with the open world. What's cool about this, you can see this huge map. There's a lot of different regions, and I will say that my favorite story in any recent Marvel game of note takes place in Midgardia. I won't spoil it for you, but make sure you tune in for the story. And this game does a phenomenal job of telling a very interesting story. Obviously, the world is on the brink of annihilation, and it's up to you and the Marvel heroes to help overcome the next challenge to make sure that certain doom isn't met. Maybe you're postponing it, maybe different powers are emergent because of your decisions, but this is something really important in a role-playing game to have an overarching story that you get involved in. So we can travel to these different regions, and we'll talk about it very specifically. One of my favorite regions is Hydra Empire, because it really kind of captures some of the essence of, you know, what would have happened if Hydra had won. And it's really interesting in that regard. And I will tell you that the story there is very interesting. The suits that are spawned from there are some of the most intriguing costumes. I'm wearing a Hydra Empire Captain suit. And you'll see that I've just spawned in and can navigate this little mini map here. Now, is it true open world? Well, there's different encounters. You'll see that sometimes we'll spawn. Each one of these characters here are attackable. They'll have different drops. If I wanted to get Hydra themed gear, I would be killing these characters to get their Hydra components so I can craft Hydra themed costumes. So this is what's interesting about all this. And you can see in just a moment here, you can even scale some of the heights and navigate some higher heights. And again, this isn't a character that's really, like, the flyers have a much easier navigation to the game, but that's my only complaint is the characters that are ground bound have a little bit of hard time targeting, but that is something hopefully that'll be made up for. One thing that's really great about this, I feel like the graphics they feel really smooth for a mobile game. This doesn't even feel like you're playing on mobile most of the time, and it is a stark contrast to some of the other games that have been out there. And if you guys are looking for that role-playing experience, then Marvel Future Revolution is for you. So we'll take a look at it, guys. I've actually gone and I've unlocked a wide variety of heroes. And so my recommendation for picking the right hero is think about the one or two that kind of fit your playstyle. There will be some guides coming up soon. I do recommend just take a look at all the other content creators out there. There's some pretty cool content that kind of digs into some depth on how the abilities work, and find a character you think that you really want to play. Remember that at some point you're probably going to want, because power is gained from unlocking additional characters and building them up, but it's something that you're not going to want to necessarily do right away. Focus on one character, get them through the story, and then use another character to get through that squad rank lock mechanism that prevents you from progressing to the story. We'll have some more videos showcasing that on launch day, so you guys will understand that in more detail. And each character, like I said, before you spend any amount of money on the character, I recommend just making sure it's a character you want to really invest your time in and have it as your main lead character. You guys will see that there. And anyway, that being said, remember, I do things so you don't have to. I'm Remanx, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So one thing I'll say is I am enjoying other characters in great detail. I think there's a lot of choices, but it's the archetype, not necessarily the character that I'm locking in. I'm not sitting here waiting for some other character to come to the game because it's my favorite character. I like being that brawler / tank, and Captain America fills that role for me because it allows me to lead a group of people through some of the PvE and PvP content, which is something I really enjoy. So remember that he is one of the best support characters, and if you're thinking about like raid leading or leading people through Dark Zone or even leading in Omega War, this is probably a good choice of a character to start with. Check you soon.